Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you know why we're here. You read the title, it's a UFC card builder. Let's get straight into it. Here we go. This is going to be for the September pay-per-view card, UFC 293 in Boston, New York City. Now, yes, I know they were talking about August. I don't think it'll be August. In my opinion, I think September works better for all involved. But let's get in with the first fight. Leon versus Colby. Welterweight title main event. It has to happen at some point. I thought it would be in London in July. It's not, which is a bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. But I just think it works on this card, man. I really do. 278 and 286 were not the best undercards, whereas this is absolutely stacked as fuck. I think Leon's earned the chance to headline a card like this, and Colby loves the big stage. He loves the attention, so perfect for me. The fight itself is interesting, man. I do think that Colby's kind of always on the pressure wrestling style will be a lot harder for Leon personally to deal with than Usman's, which is a bit more power heavy, because Covington can literally chain 5, 6, 7 double legs in a row, and I think it'll be a challenge for Leon, but I think he'll win the fight if I'm honest. Leg kicks will be the key for him if you ask me. Leon just has to find a way to slow Colby down. I think those low kicks are the best way to do it, but it wouldn't shock me at all if Colby was to drown him in those endless cycles he gets people in, just the chain takedowns, and just over the 5 rounds he may be able to wear him down. But for me, I'd go with Leon. And then after his win last weekend, we got Bilal at the bottom of the screen there with his big fucking forehead. He can be the backup fighter. Weigh in, maybe even get him on the press conference. That would be good. A little bit of back and forwards with Leon and Colby. But yeah, have Bilal as the backup if anything happens. Right then, co-main event. I was thinking about putting this as the main event. I think you lot would put this main event as well. But I thought Leon Colby was alright as a main event. So co-main, after last weekend, it has to be Sterling O'Malley. In my opinion, I had Cejudo 2-3-5 last weekend, but I don't mind Aljo winning it 3-2 either. It was very close. I don't know how you can give him the 5th though. That judge needs to be removed straight away. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, close fight, but I got no issue with him winning, but I personally thought he lost. I have to say though, I was an Aljo hater for a long time after he won the belt and the way that he went about it, and obviously the closeness of the rematch with Jan. I hated the guy, I'm not going to lie to you guys, but you have to put some respect on his name now. You can't not. But the guy's beaten 4 former bantamweight champions, Jan, Cejudo, TJ and Barao. I mean, you have to start saying he's up there as one of the best of all time in that division. You can't say anything else at this point. Then obviously with O'Malley, we've not seen him since last October where he beat Jan in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, fuck that, by the way. I still can't believe he won that shit. Anyway, we obviously know what the guy can do. He's an exceptional striker. He's very unorthodox. He can hit you with anything from any angles, and you're normally going to go out cold. So he's a danger to anybody in the division. I mean, he does look and dress like he should be on some kind of formal register, but we're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk about a fight between him and Sterling, so let's have a little talk about it. MMA math doesn't always work, but if Aljo can take down Jan and Jan can take down O'Malley, that doesn't look good in the grappling department for Sean in this fight. I think he could very easily get ragdoll, I'm not going to lie. Obviously the height and the reach is massive in Sean's favour, but Aljo is just about tall enough and just about long enough, I think, to be able to get into range and get a hold of him. But of course on the way in, Sean could catch him, of course he can. But I don't think he will, or if he does, I don't think he'll put him out. I think Aljo would rear naked choke him inside 3 rounds, if I'm honest, which is a shame because I think Sean would be a great champion, but I just don't think Aljo's the right matchup for him. I would give him much more chance against Cejudo. But honestly, fuck Marab, the little cretin for nicking his jacket. Either fight Aljo, go to featherweight, go to flyweight, or go to 1FC, alright? Fuck him. Right, next up, feature bout. I was thinking about the way I wanted to go about this card, and I thought, we're in Boston, so you need some of them New England boys on there. So with that being said, feature about Sandhagen versus Font. Come on now. I was also thinking about maybe doing Sandhagen versus Marab, but there's no point in killing another contender and then Marab is going to sit there and wank off Aljo and not fight him. So I thought Font made sense. Like geographically, he looked great against Yanez. Sandhagen's been looking on fire recently. It's a great fight. Also, I'd have Corey Sandhagen as the backup for Sterling O'Malley in case anything goes wrong there as well. Little side note for you. Little prediction on this fight. I think it's relatively close. I think Font's got some of the best boxing. His jab is amazing, but I think Sandhagen will be a bit long for him. And he's got this newfound wrestling in his game as well, which could be a problem for Fonty. I just don't think Sandhagen will be there for Font to hit like Yanez was. And even if he does hit him, I don't think he's quite got the power to put Sandhagen out. He's got a good chin on him, Sandhagen. So I'll go Corey over 3 rounds. He may even get a finish in the 3rd because Font's chin is a bit suspect. Great fight though. Right, there's always a women's fight on pay-per-view and usually it ruins the damn card, but this one I think it'd be pretty good. You think about where we are and the fact it's right at the top of the flyweight division. I think this makes all the sense in the world. You probably know what I'm talking about, but here we go. I want Erin Blanchfield against Manon Fior. Now the way I'm thinking about this is after we see the Grasso-Shevchenko rematch, we'll have 4 fighters. We got Blanchfield, we got Fior, we got Tyler Santos, and we got the loser of that title fight. Now, I know that she was supposed to fight Santos, so a lot of people are saying you should rebook that, but I think I'd rather see her fight Fior and Santos fight the loser of Grasso-Shevchenko, personally. It's a number one contenders fight, it's title eliminator, and the winner will fight the winner of Grasso Shevchenko, so I think it's perfect for me. Style-wise, I think Blanchfield is obviously way better on the ground, but her striking is good enough to not let Fior dominate her. I actually really like this fight, and I don't like a lot of women's MMA fights at the moment, but I think Blanchfield would submit her in the second round for me. Maybe first, but I think second, probably. This main card opener is probably my favourite fight on the whole card. It's also the most unrealistic. It probably won't happen, but I loved it when I thought of it, so I'm going to do it. It's New York versus New York. At lightweight, Matt Frivola against Calvin Kattar. I mean, come on. If I see any of you in the comments chat any shit about this matchup, you're not an MMA fan. Who wouldn't want to see that? I mean, as I say, it's not the most realistic, but come on. You got Sarah Longo versus New England Cartel. You got Frivola with a great win over Dober. Yes, he called out Pimblett, but I don't think he'll get that fight because Pimblett is still quite injured. Kattar's lost 2 straight at featherweight. He's a big dude. Easily could go up. You got the built-in rivalry. It's a fun scrap between 2 nutty strikers. In terms of who'd win, I'll probably go with Kattar. His boxing's way crisper. I think he'd make the move up to lightweight look very easy. He'd look well up there. I think Frivola's a good fighter, but I think Kattar's better all round. I think he'd knock him out in his second round. Maybe the first again, like Blanchfield, but I'd say second. Right then, featured prelim now. Yes, I know that he said he'd come back in the summer, but I'm sure if Dana went down to Sarah Longo and said, "Hello, Chris Weidman, do you fancy fighting in Boston?" he'd say, "Yes, please, mate." So I'll put him with Brendan Allen. Right. I was either going to put him with the winner of Shabazian against Fluffy Hernandez or the loser of Bruno Silva versus Brendan Allen. But I think the winner of Shabazian against Hernandez should fight Brad Tavares, and the loser of the other fight should fight Weidman. I think it'll be Brendan Allen. I really do. I think Bruno Silva's a bit too powerful for him. All over the place. He's got powerful grappling as well. It will be quite a quick turnaround for Allen, about 12, 14 weeks. If he gets KO'd, maybe not. But Allen's quite active as it is, so I don't think it'll be much of a problem for him. And fighting Weidman would be an incentive. So my original choice for Weidman was actually Derek Brunson, but I thought, 1, he's probably going to retire, and 2, you can't really give him a top 10 opponent after over 2 years off. So I thought that would be a bit unfair for the rest of the division. Allen might still be ranked if he loses against Silva, maybe number 15. If he's not, I think a win over Brendan Allen would see him fight maybe the winner of the Chris Curtis Imavov fight. I think that's a good next step for him, and he would beat Allen for me, 3rd round submission if you ask me. But yeah, it's a good comeback for Chris, and it's nice to see him back. He's a legend, especially in that area, so perfect sense for a nice feature prelim. Next prelim, another bloke who really impressed me last weekend was Big Ken. I'm not going to try and pronounce his surname because that'd be disrespectful to him, so I'm just going to call him Big Ken. I think he should fight Dustin Jacoby. Jacoby was Rob Line against Roundtree. I mean, yeah, the 3rd round was Roundtree's, but 1 and 2 were clear Jacoby. But anyway, he looked good in that fight. He lost, but he should have won. And Ken's been looking amazing recently, always evolving, always improving. It's a great fight at 205. Dustin's currently ranked number 15 at 205, but I think by the time the fight goes around, he may be unranked. But the winner of the fight will get a ranked opponent next 100%. In terms of the winner, it's a close one, it really is. They're both good at similar things, but I think I'll go with Kennedy. Recently, he's been looking really, really good. I was not expecting him to submit Devin Clark. Bloody hell, and standing as well. Very impressive. So we'll go with Kennedy by TKO against Jacoby. And we've seen his chin can be cracked, but that was by Pahela in kickboxing, so he could knock out a Rhino. But yeah, I'll go with Kennedy. TKO. Right, next up, he weren't on the New Jersey card, which is a shambles, but he's going to be on the Boston card. He's still in the tri-state area. It's the legendary 307-fight veteran Jimmy Miller against Vince Pichel. Now, I actually had to check that Vince was even still signed with the UFC. It's been over a year since he last fought, but he's still there. He's just not fought. I know he had an accident last year, like a motorcycle accident. That might be reason to it, but it's been, 18 months? And by the time this rolls around, it'll be over 18 months by then. And he just needs to get in the cage, man. He's a good fighter. He's a decent level lightweight, but he's a good matchup for Jim Miller, I'm not going to lie. This crazy ginger bastard said in an interview leading up to UFC 288 that he wants 45 fights in the UFC. He wants his last one to be at UFC 300, and his next one against Ludovic Klein will be his 42nd. So he's fighting Klein in June. I say you turn him straight around for September. I'm not sure if he'll win the fight, but I don't think he'll take too much damage, if I'm honest. You get him around in September. You get him out again sort of maybe December, January. I think UFC 300 will be about May next year, so I think that works perfectly time-wise. He can fight near his home. Perfect. I think he'd beat Vince Pichel as well by submission, I really do. Last fight I got for you, I thought I need some heavyweights, right? So I had a look on the roster, I thought, who has some regional relevance? And then I saw these two and I thought, yes, I need to see these two fight. Mo Usman and Chris Barnett. I can't even say it without laughing. Mo Usman and Chris Barnett. Like, just imagine the ceremonial weigh-ins. You got a big angry Mo Usman who looks like his brother's just nicked his needles out of his drawer, if you know what I'm trying to say. And then Chris Barnett laughing, smiling, twerking around like Kung Fu Panda. It'd be fucking beautiful. All joking aside, it's actually a very good fight. Like, Chris Barnett is no joke on the ground. He can hold his own down there, and he's obviously got those random spinning kicks and shit like he did against Vellante last year, you know? And also, he'd be the biggest name Mo Usman's ever fought. He's very popular. People like him. It would be his first time on a pay-per-view event. I think it makes perfect sense on a business point of view, and it's a good fight as well, I'm not going to lie. In terms of the way it goes, I think Barnett would be an underdog, but it wouldn't shock me if he KO'd Usman because his chin is in the air all the time. But I could see why Usman would be the favourite. He might well dominate him from top position. But, like I said, it's funny, but it's also not a bad fight. Right, you lot, cheers for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the card builder. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you don't like my picks, fuck off. If you do, let me know. Cheers. See you next time.